more that I can say, says it in a better way.
It's her, Maro. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, so good. You've been such a light on Twitter with this name, this Twitter name.
Thank you. It's, not crazy original. I kind of stole it from Mario, but...
How do you pronounce it?
My name? Maro.
It's a me, Maro.
It's a me, Maro. Exactly.
Y'all need to follow her on Twitter. Now,
No, those people like...
link in description.
Exactly.
Could you tell us about your song? For people who don't fully understand Portuguese, what's the message?
Well, saudade is the word we use when we miss somebody or something. So we have saudade. And the song specifically was written for my granddad. That was, truly my best friend and is still such a big reference. And yeah, just kind of miss him daily and just kind of like an homage and celebration.
Somehow I can't move on, oh you're gone.
When did your grandfather pass away?
End of 2020.
Oh, it's very fresh.
Yeah.
It's interesting. In your staging we saw during the first rehearsal, we felt like it was almost between heaven and earth. We were in a new place. Is the staging suggesting something like this? Something about life and death?
Well, yeah, it's supposed to just kind of feel ethereal. I never know how to say that word. And, just kind of like wavy and whatever, how do I say, like, I forgot the word, like however you interpret it, then I kind of leave it for people, but it was, at least it was supposed to feel kind of like intimate and cohesive, really.
Yeah, and we love the circle. You and your women friends are standing there as one. What does the circle mean? Is it, I guess, a suggestion of unity, of healing?
Exactly. And more than anything, it's like we're singing together, and I wanted that to come across, not kind of like there's Maro and then there's 5 backing singers somewhere on the stage. I wanted to feel like, yeah, it's my song, and yeah, I'm like the lead vocalist, but in the end, like it's still a group song, and I wanted it to kind of come across that way.
And your colors on your outfit, it's like Nirvana. It's something very different. It's not of this earth. How would you describe the color palette?
Kind of that. It's kind of like cloudy even, right? It's kind of like, reminds me a lot of like just sky in different times of day. It's kind of like dusk or like dawn, and I like that vibe. It really, for me, it really does give the intimacy that I was looking for.
I like that clouds. It's almost like the changing seasons, life and death. There's so many layers here. We only saw a brief snippet on TikTok because the EBU Corporation is not letting us, watch rehearsals. What else happens on the stage? What are we missing?
I don't think there's like a big surprise, like more than whatever you've seen. There's gonna be fog, and obviously we're gonna like have makeup and hair and like be a little less rough. I was definitely looking a bit rough, but yeah, in the end it's kind of, I don't think we're planning like a big surprise. It's really that like we're singing in a circle, and we're gonna try and be really like tight and sing together, and everything else kind of about the vibe that we're gonna hopefully try to create.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
And you, of course, are very international. Portugal to the United States, we're talking Boston, we're talking LA. Which cities influenced you the most musically?
I don't know. I mean, from when I went abroad, right? Like, so Portugal, like Lisbon doesn't count. I mean, Boston was really like, I studied there for 3 years. It was the moment of my life where I decided to do music. Like, I suddenly was like, what am I doing? I need to do music. So I went straight to Boston. And it was 3 years of, I didn't sing in front of anybody, so it was 3 years of suddenly starting to, own up to it and sing in front of people and give concerts and play with friends. And, there's like 5,000 people from all over the world. So to get to make friends with people that have different cultures, eat different food, speak different languages, listen to different music, and just kind of get to show you their instruments or their what they heard when they were kids, or, you know, all these things really does influence, you know, you, and even if you, in not like as direct ways, like it's impossible not to have a lot of growth coming from that whole like 3-year interaction.
Did you hate the winter?
No, because it wasn't like oh, I live here. It's more like, wow, this is a chapter of my life. I knew I was gonna, you know, there's the 3 years where I studied and that was it.
Yeah.
And so actually it was very enjoyable, actually. It's so pretty. It's like the whole city turns white. And I'm from Portugal. We don't have that kind of like, we don't have snow at all. I mean, in certain places sometimes snows a bit, but it's not that, like suddenly you have like 15 feet of snow. That doesn't happen. So it was gorgeous. Also because Boston had such a pretty summer. So it was easy to kind of really enjoy the winter, because then you knew it was going to be insanely hot a few months after.
Well, speaking of hot, Los Angeles, because I don't know if it's a Portuguese vibe or a California vibe. You're so relaxed and so like, you know, of the earth. Did California work for you? Did you really vibe with the atmosphere there?
I did, but because I kind of created my bubble. I think it can definitely be hard. I know a lot of people that don't like it. I think I loved it because I had two of my best friends that are like brothers to me, and that I worked on so much music with the two of them. I started surfing. The weather is always like, it's just always sunny and pleasant and nice. And it was also the first time in my life I had a room for myself, like a bedroom, because I've always shared my whole life. I shared till I was 23. I shared the room, and so also that kind of gave me the space to be able to work a lot and to, you know, just kind of have my space. So for me, it really worked out. But I don't know. I think the vibe is still very Portuguese. I think I'm very Portuguese.
Okay. Is there any part of you would describe as Los Angeles?
Maybe just the fact that I'm very, very kind of like workaholic and driven. Maybe that, because everybody that I met there was completely like just focused and I want to go there. And I've always kind of been that person, yeah.
Well, tell us, where does Maro want to go next?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I want to live, you know, supposedly I'm going back to LA. At the same time, I'm considering maybe instead of LA going to or Barcelona or Paris, because I lived there last year and I loved it, or São Paulo, because I keep on going back and I loved it, and I love it. But I think in the end I'm just gonna go back to LA next year and really kind of like work from there and then travel to other places, but be based there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And Salvador Sobral, we are such a huge fan, and we recently saw your collaboration. Beautiful music video.
Thank you.
He can lip sync really well.
He can, and he also looks gorgeous on camera, which always helps, you know.
Skin on skin.
Yeah, you know, this is a concept I've had since 2018, and it's been so long since I've wanted to do this kind of like really simple but kind of fun video of, you know, it's my song but some other artist that has their own career and music kind of does the video as if it was their song. But I'm so happy it only worked out now, because I feel like after pulling it off with Sal, just looking at it and being like, wow, I don't think anybody else would have lived that song as well as he did. He really like lifted the whole song, really. Like the whole video became another thing because of him.
And he, of course, performed in the audience at Eurovision, and you too have decided, I don't need this big stage. What was behind the decision to use stage B?
I think, again, because, you know, the same thing with coloring or like the group vibe. It's really like in the end, it's such a personal song, and we're trying to do it in such an intimate way, kind of bringing a bit of that vibe of like you're singing in a living room with your best friends type vibe. And so it didn't really make sense to do it in a big stage with, you know, crazy lights and fire. You know, for our song specifically, it just made more sense to have something smaller and more intimate.
Maro of the people, in the people. We love this energy.
Yes, thank you.
You know, my sister and I, our brother recently died, and it was very traumatic, as you can understand.
Yeah.
And we were watching your song together, and we kept talking about this portal. Like, we felt like you opened a door, and we were, I don't know, when someone dies, you do end up having conversations with them, and all sorts of things happen.
Yeah.
But your song was opening this door for us. I'm curious, when you sing it, can you see your grandfather? Are you talking to him?
Yeah, it's funny, we were just talking about this morning. Sometimes I have to, like it's impossible to sing it and not mean it, because I just can't do that. But a lot of times I kind of have to focus in a different way so that I don't actually get emotional about it, because it's if I really sing and really am like thinking about what I'm saying, it's, you know, it can get tricky, it can be hard to not, you know, kind of let emotions rule, and because also it's tricky, because if you start crying you're not going to be able to sing, but it's definitely a connection, because it was also written in such a truthful and genuine way that you know, in the end every word was meant and is meant, so yeah, it's definitely some sort of portal, but at the same time I have to, you know,
maybe just crack the door, don't fully open
exactly, just like take a little peek, but because it's tricky, yeah.
And if you were to kind of cry, it's interesting. I think it would work, because the song is that mood, and it's like it's such a safe space. Anything goes. That's the magic of Maro, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if it would happen naturally, it's gorgeous. And obviously, I would never fake it, or even like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna sing thinking about it, so that it like a tear comes. Because also, I feel like it's the type of stuff that if I actually would start crying, it's like not a gorgeous tear that comes out like, you know, it would kind of be like whoa, like so. But I don't know. I'm not stopping it either. So if by chance, but I don't know. We'll see. But it would never be planned, you know.
And is there a lyric in the song that means the most to you, or that takes you to that place you were just describing?
I think the first two phrases of the verse too. So we say tem tanto que trago comigo, foi sempre o meu porto de abrigo, which means kind of like there's so much I carry with me, and that's kind of like he's always been my safe space, and that really represents, you know, we're 10 cousins that were so incredibly close to my grandparents, both of them, and so I feel like even when I sing those two phrases, I feel like I'm singing it from like not from, sorry, that's English, like I'm in like as it's like I'm speaking for my cousins too, and you know, they all told me that it's crazy, it's exactly how we all feel, obviously, so maybe those two phrases, because they represent so much of what he was and still is, and you know, all of my family's lives. So yeah.
That is so beautiful. Thank you so much for this song, your honesty. You are giving us so many feels, and we are going to be voting up a storm for you in which semifinal?
In the first semifinal.
So pick up the phone and vote. Girl, we're seeing top 10.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Obrigado.